Good day, everyone. In today's session, we will discuss Chapter 3 National Differences in Economic Development. This topic is fundamental because of the level of economics development will influence a country's attractiveness as both a market and a potential production location for firm. Just for example, you are planning to open your business in different country. Usually, you need to know whether the people in that country afford enough to buy a product, and in order to know that, you will check based on their living standard. The economic development of a country is commonly measured by gross national income or GNI. However, because differences in cost of living can distort direct competition, an adjustment known as purchase power parity or triple P is often applied. The adjustment provides a clearer comparison of living standard across country. According to the slide, GNI refers to the total annual income received by residents of a nation. This measure provides an overview of all economic resources of a country, and it is widely used by international institutions and policymakers to classify economy. Further than that, triple P allows us to compare economic productivity and living standard more accurately. It's adjusted for the fact that the same amount of money can purchase different quantities of goods and services depending on the country. Thus, triple P provides a more realistic picture of economic well-being. The World Bank categorizes countries into 4 income groups. Low-income economies with a GNI per capita of 1,135 US dollar to or less, and then lower middle income economies ranging from 1,136 to 4,465, upper middle income economies from 4,466 to 13,845, and high income economies with 13,846 or more. This classification serves as a benchmark for comparing country stages of economic development. I have provided here one table of data that came from World Bank showing different countries' GNI per capita per year. If you can see here, the lowest one came from Afghanistan, while according to this data, because it's limited country, Andorra was the highest among these countries with 63,828.9 GNI per capita per year. Purchasing power parity data further refines our understanding of economics development. For instance, even though some countries may report lower GNI figures, when adjusted for triple P, their population may actually enjoy relatively higher standard of living than the raw GNI suggests. As you can see here, I have provided also data for triple P from World Bank started from 2023 up to 2024. And we can see here, according to the data, the highest triple P is Singapore with 150,689 triple P in 2024, and the lowest came from Ethiopia, which is around 3,000. Triple P, once again, purchasing power parity. This is can be said as a theoretical exchange rate that will allows you to buy same amount of goods and services in every country. Sometimes different country can make some analogy to giving some kind easy explanation how you compare triple P in different country by using McDonald's Big Mac. The government agency will use triple P to compare the output of countries that use different exchange rate. After this slide, I will show you how McDonald's Big Mac can be also used as a comparison of different living standards in different countries. McDonald's is a multinational enterprise that has over 40,000 locations worldwide, and the iconic Big Mac is a staple of menus the world over. They analyze the cost of purchasing one in each country by using the capital city as a benchmark. Just for example, Liechtenstein and Switzerland, they show that the Big Mac were sold there for $7.75 each. Both have the most expensive Big Macs based on the cost of one in Vaduz and Bern respectively. Just for example, here Big Mac in Australia were sold for around $5.28, and then in Indonesia is $2.35, which is we can see that people in Indonesia afford to buy Big Mac for around $2, while the other country they afford to buy Big Mac with $5 or $4 or $6 or maybe $7, and we can use this as a comparison of how people be able to afford buying Big Mac. I also support the student to watch video 3 about GNI, and there will be explanation further about that, and video 4 about triple P. While GNI and triple P are valuable indicators, they are essentially static measures. They provide a snapshot of a particular point in time. It is equally important to analyze growth rates in order to understand a country's future trajectory. For example, if current growth trends persist, China is projected to surpass another economies and become the largest in the world within the coming decade. So what we have to see is their trend, whether they're growing up or they're just statics, they're just stable and constant, but we need to see whether they're going up by showing trends, whether it's increase or decrease. Next, eminent economist Amartya Sen argued that development should be assessed not only in terms of income, but also in terms of capabilities and opportunities available to individuals. Reflecting to his ideas, the United Nations created a Human Development Index. The HDI incorporates 3 dimensions that is taken from life expectancy, education attainment, and whether average income are sufficient to meet basic human needs. This broader approach captures both the current level of development and countries' potential for sustained growth. As you can see here from the figure, HDI were taken from these 3 dimensions. The long and healthy life of the people, which the indicator is life expectancy at birth, which came from the baby are born healthy and then low death rate, and then the dimension index came from life expectancy index. The second dimension is knowledge. The indicator for knowledge came from expected years of schooling and mean years of schooling. The dimension index is from education index, which is showing that the mean years of schooling of peoples in that country, showing that people have knowledge and they be able to develop themselves better. The third dimension is a decent standard of living, which is from the previous measurement we will use GNI per capita or triple P US dollar per year as indicators. The dimension index is also came from GNI. Here we can see Human Development Index data published by the UN Development Program. Countries with higher HDI score typically exhibit stronger social infrastructure, greater equality of opportunity, and more resilient long-term growth prospect. The first rank came from, if we can see here, the first one is Iceland, and the second one is Switzerland for the first or the second rank of HDI. And we can try to see the third rank was, I think it's not in this list, but you can see, because I cut the figure so you can see it clearer. You can see later on the website of HDI and how the country rank according to this data. In conclusion, while GNI and PPP are essential measures of economic development, they do not provide a complete picture. When combined with growth rate analysis and broader indices such as the HDI, we can more comprehensively assess national differences in development. This knowledge is particularly relevant for firms evaluating international market and production allocation. Thank you for your attention.